Today we will talk about Newton's laws of motion and the first law of motion first. So you can see this object. This object is a whiteboard marker and it is at rest there. Now you know from your experience that it doesn't move. It doesn't move by itself. And if you want to move it, you got to apply a force. That is, you have to pick up with hand, or you have to push it, or some other force should act on it in order to move. So we all know that from our childhood. There's nothing new about it. So this law is Newton's first law, states the same thing but slightly different. So every object continues to be in a state of rest, that is rest, or of uniform motion, unless it is compelled by an external force to change the state. We all know this does not move. That's our experience. But Newton experienced more than this. He said, rest or of uniform motion. That means if it is moving with a constant velocity, it will not change its velocity value. That we do not know. Newton knew. So it will move with a constant velocity unless it is compelled by an external force to change the state. There is a requirement of external force, that external to the body something should be applied. Otherwise it can't change the state. Internally it cannot do itself. That's the point. So therefore, that why it cannot change internally, why can't an object at rest can move by itself? Because of inertia. So that's the property of the body by which it cannot change its state by itself. Some external force should act on it, then only it can change the state. And whatever is the external thing what is going to act is force. So from this equation, from this first law of motion, Newton's first law of motion, we understand inertia and force are the two terms. And every object continues to be in a state of rest. State is a condition, either rest or uniform motion. So it can be at rest or uniform motion unless it is compelled by an external force to change the state. In order to change the state of rest or of uniform motion, you are required to apply an external force to the object. The object cannot change by itself because of inertia. And external force is the one which can change the state. So we have to talk about these two terms now. Inertia is nothing but measure of mass. Measure of mass is called inertia. And force is the one which changes the state of this mass. So mass is measured in kilograms. Mass m, let's say I represent with m, it is measured in kilograms in SI system. So force, how much is the force? How do you calculate? That we will see in Newton's second law of motion. Alright.